Well, hello everybody. You are listening to On the Back Burner podcast. My name is Noe Amos, and I go by S04E01Burning Notes. And I'm here at the Digital Wolf Studio bonus level in Logansport, Indiana. And I'm here for the Burning Notes session. It is my understanding that this is the first Burning Notes session, so let's see how it goes. I have some original material, songs that I have written throughout my time playing music. I started playing music back in the 90s when I was in college, and most recently I've started to perform. I started this project at Venue 3 in 2021 out of Wabash, Indiana. I've performed in places such as here, Logansport, Fort Wayne, Pearson, Indiana, Wabash, Huntington, so mainly in the local area here in North Central Indiana. One of my biggest and favorite presentations was in 2021 in February. I made it to Live at Lunch at Sweetwater, which is a great event. I was very happy for that. And I enjoy playing open mics. I enjoy playing coffee shops, those sort of things where you are very intimate with your audience and you can sing directly to them. I also enjoy busking. That's one of my favorite things, to play out in the public. I'm gonna kick it off here with a song that I wrote back in 2001 in North Manchester, Indiana, at the University of North Manchester. And I wrote this with a former roommate. He was an artist from El Salvador, also a student. He had a beautiful living room full of art. And I sat one evening with my guitar and I started to admire his art around the living room, and pretty much every line to this song described a piece, an art piece that he had drawn or painted, and that became the title of the song. The 14 Faces, figure 8, the 14 Faces is the name of the song, and the 14 Faces was his most precious art piece. Here we go, let's give it a shot. This is figure 8, the 14 Faces. Butterflies, the around he makes a figure as I'm sitting down. Look with his head laying down on a window frame. Who gave Jesus butterflies? The 14 faces now, the 14 faces now, the 14 faces butterflies, the 14 faces now, the 14 faces now, the 14 faces There you are. Okay, so yeah, I enjoy that song very much. And my next song is a song that I wrote in 1999. I wrote this song in Warsaw, Indiana. I had just moved here from South Texas, from the South, and I landed a job working as an inclusion teacher for the Head Start program of Kosciuszko County. So I helped with language, with limited English proficiency students, and that was my role. And this song came up. It's called Personalities. Here we go. Of the earth who like to multiply their personality. They tell you how to live, but it don't mean a thing. The truth is only one you want to be. And when they say they can't be happy, that's when they multiply their personality. Yay. So I want to thank Jess. I want to thank Jess for inviting me over and having me here today. The first ever Burning Notes session here at the Digital Wolf Network bonus level in Logansport, Indiana. It's a pleasure to be here. Okay, so this third number is a song that was written between me and a friend from Goshen, Indiana. Her name is S04E01Burning Notes, and she was an English major at the time, and we met at a karaoke event, and we started talking about music, and she said, "Hey, I have this song, but I don't play guitar." And I was wondering if, we could get together and figure it out, and I said, "Sure, huh?" So we had a small session. She came over to my apartment, and she busted out the lyrics, and I busted out the guitar, and she said, "The title of the song is Do I Do?" And I looked at her and I said, "Do you what?" "Do I do?" And she goes, "Trust me, it's grammatically correct. I'm an English major." And I said, "Okay, let's do it." So we wrote, she wrote the song, the lyrics, and I composed the music to it. I made the music arrangements, and this is what it is now. This is Do I Do. Don't worry, I've got a plan. I'm leaving on Sunday, not coming back. Finally, I want to get out of this town, baby, now that you are around. Darkest of places, I finally want to. My heart is racing. Finally I know how to get me out of the blue, baby, now that you want me to. Oh my God, do I do? Now that I found you, My heart is racing. Finally I know how to get you out of the blue, baby. Now that you want me to, baby. Now that you want me to, baby. Now that you want me to. Okay, so that was Do I Do. My next number is a song that I wrote in 1999. And this is a song about my transition from South Texas into, I'm sorry, it was 1998. It was my transition from South Texas to the state of Florida. So I was moving to Florida to be with family, and I was traveling on a Greyhound bus, guitar in hand and a big bag, and a line from Texas into Louisiana on Interstate 10. You come across what is one of the largest bridges in the country. It is the Atchafalaya Bridge that goes over the Atchafalaya Swamp. It's basically from the state line of Texas into Lake Charles, Louisiana, a 24-mile stretch. And that's where I wrote the song. And I was thinking of how I was leaving my hometown and leaving my friends behind, and how the past was behind and I was looking into a future across the other side of this bridge. So I came across the bridge and with a full song, and this song is titled Bridges. original songs by Avenue 3 at the Burning Notes session here in Logansport, Indiana. Thanks for watching. And now the time has come to burn my note at the Burning Notes session here at Digital Wolf Studios. And here's the Burning Notebook, and here's my note. So here we go. First Burning Notes session. There went Noe's Burning Note. Thank you very much.